What's up, everybody? It's Broken Bones here, and welcome to Broken's Bedrock Tutorials. Today, we're going to be showing you how to build the Double Cobble Blaster. The Double Cobble Blaster is a double cobble farm that pushes out into a single wide block stream. Last week, we made the Universal TNT Blaster, and this farm is made to feed right into it, as you can see. This farm runs on a 2-tick engine, so every 4 game ticks, it's going to push out a cobble block, which equates out to 9,000 blocks per hour, which is the exact maximum rates of our Universal TNT Blaster. It pushes out the blocks. The Universal TNT Blaster blows them up for you. And then all of the items get sucked down into the collection system where you're going to get tons and tons of cobble. All in all, this is a super small machine that packs a big punch, and it's simple and easy to build. So if you guys are excited to get started, then go ahead and smash the like button for me and subscribe if you guys are new, and let's get started with the tutorial. A material list will be down in the description. To get things started, you are going to want to make sure that you have a Universal TNT Blaster, and if you don't have one of these, then I have a tutorial for that, and I'll leave a link to that up in the top right hand corner and down in the description. Once you have this built, next you're going to need to plan out where you want your cobble farm, and so you don't really need to chunk align this. I haven't chunk aligned mine, and let's see, I think I've actually accidentally chunk aligned mine, but it doesn't need to be chunk aligned. There's not a whole lot going on here. In the tutorial of the Universal TNT Blaster, I show you how to make these piston pushers of all different kinds. There's this kind, which is a 2-way intersection. There's that kind, which takes blocks from 2 different directions, and so there's multiple ways to plan out where you want your cobble farm, and multiple ways to put these piston pushers so you can get the blocks to your farm. Simply putting in an observer and a block and some redstone dust behind a piston isn't reliable enough. Sometimes your farm breaks if you use this, so I use this piston pusher, but then I realized that that's kind of slow, and this machine actually keeps up with the maximum rates of the farm, and I was backing these guys up. So I added the observer back, and it allowed this to be a lot faster and much more reliable. So as you can see in the tutorial, this is how we built it. All we're going to do is we're going to go to each side of this piston. We're going to go right there, and we're going to go right there. Go ahead and place 2 blocks just like that, and that'll go ahead and upgrade this piston pusher. So be sure to add that to the piston pushers that you have leading back to your cobble farm. The materials to upgrade your piston pushers have not been included in the material list. However, I have reminded you that you do need the materials for your piston pushers. So since I've built my example farm over here, I'm going to go ahead and build another farm over in this area. But in order to do that, I need to hook it up with these piston pushers. So since I've built my farm over here, I'm going to build the tutorial farm over in this area, over on this side of the farm. And to do that, I need to build 2 piston pushers. I need to build one right here to push it into this intersection, and I need to build another one over here so I can build my farm over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with this intersection. We're going to go ahead and upgrade this with the observer and a block right there, so anytime blocks get pushed in here, it'll react extra fast. Once you have that in place, next we need to go ahead and make sure that we're 7 blocks away from that piston. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to place another temporary block right there in the 8th position, and we're going to put a piston on it just like that. So there's 7 blocks in between that piston and that piston. So once we have that, we can get rid of all of our temporary blocks just like that. Make sure that your piston is in line with the block stream that it needs to be with, not over to one side or the other. Then once you have that in place, make sure that you have whatever direction you're going to be coming from, and make sure that you do just like this. You're going to place in a redstone torch on a block underneath that piston just like so, and then the blocks that I'm going to be having are going to be coming in from this direction, so we're going to go on the other side. We're going to place a temporary block there and 2 blocks right there and there, then grab yourself some redstone dust and put it on top of that block. Now anytime blocks come in from this direction, they're going to get pushed out in that direction. And just as a side note, we go up to this point in this tutorial, and I'm just showing you how I'm laying out my farm. You can obviously put these in any orientation you want. I want you guys to be able to have the freedom of putting your farm wherever you choose, and I'm showing you where I'm putting mine, and so I'm showing you how I'm going to lay it out. So if your farm is at a different location, you might need to build these piston pushers in a different orientation. That's completely up to you to decide. So to continue on from this piston pusher, we're going to go 12 blocks in that direction. We're going to go the push limit of pistons because we don't want our redstone over here to get ruined. So we're going to go ahead and break out this temporary block. We're going to go ahead and count 12 blocks off the side of this piston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then we're going to go up to the 13th block just right there. We're going to place our piston in there just like that. So there's 12 blocks in between that piston and this piston. So once we have that, we can go ahead and destroy all of these temporary blocks, get rid of all of those. Next, we're going to come right over here. We're going to go ahead and place a block on the bottom there with a redstone torch up there like that. Go ahead and come right around back and place in an observer there and an observer there with a block there, and a block right behind that one. Once you have that in place, then go ahead and come right around front, placing a temporary block on top of the piston, then place yourself in a sticky piston like that. Then anytime a block comes into there, you should see that that piston rises up. That's going to have a redstone block on the face of it, just like so. Then you're going to place a block on the side of that redstone block, just like this. That way when it extends, the block should go ahead and power this redstone. Once you have that in place, grab yourself a bit of glass, place a temporary block there, a bit of glass there. You can break that one out, and then go ahead and come up a block from there, and go ahead and break out your temporary block down below. Then once you have that in, you might actually need to go ahead and put redstone dust in there first, just like that. Put your glass back, and then go ahead and put redstone dust there, and now your piston pusher is all complete. You should see that anytime you put a block right in here, it does get pushed out. So once you have this piston pusher built, go ahead and break out your temporary block, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this side open for future use for another farm in the future, and I'm going to build my other farm over here. So what we need to do from this point is we need to go 7 blocks away from that piston in this direction. So we're actually going to count off this observer, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then on the 8th block, we're going to go ahead and place another block and then turn around and put a piston in that direction. You should see that that piston should line blocks up right along with this piston, and if you got that, go ahead and break out all of your temporary blocks, and this is going to be the beginning of your farm. So once you have your starting position with your first piston, go ahead and come off the side of that piston on this side and go 1, 2, and 3 just like that with 3 temporary blocks. Once you have that in place, come to the second block out, and you're going to place a piston in sideways just like this. Then go to the third block out and put another piston in there just like that. On this block right here, what we're going to do is we're going to come right around back. We're going to place a block in right there, come underneath, place another block in right there, then come over here and place a block out the front, and then you can break this block out. We're going to do the same thing on this side, so go 1, 2, and 3, turn back around. On the second position, a piston there, and then a piston there. On the back side of this one, we're going to come right over here. We're going to place a block right there, a block underneath, and then a block in the front, and we're going to break that block out. Once your build is looking like this, next we need to go ahead and build some troughs for our water. So we need to go ahead and place a block right there and a block right there, and then surround these. What we're going to do is we're going to go just like this. We're going to go on the side, we're going to go on the bottom, we're going to come on this side, we're going to go on that side, we're going to come over here, we're going to go on that side. And then what we can do now is we can go ahead and break these out, and now we have an area for our water to go once that piston's waterlogged. Do the exact same thing over here. Go and put 2 blocks down like this, and just cover it all up. The side, the bottom, this side, that side, and then the inside right over here. Then you can come back up top and break your blocks out. Once you have your water troughs built, then go ahead and grab some obsidian or crying obsidian or any other movable block and put it behind your pistons just like this. And then once you have that done, then you can go ahead and grab your water and go ahead and waterlog your piston, and you should see that the water goes in that direction and doesn't flow out in this direction. So go ahead and do that to both pistons, waterlog both of those. Then you can take some lava, go ahead and put it there, and you should see that cobblestone forms when it flows. Once you see that cobble is forming, now it's time to wire everything up. So what we need to do now is we're going to take some colored blocks here for our circuits. We're going to go ahead and put a circuit right behind it, that piston on top of that obsidian block. We're going to put some redstone dust on top of there and on top of there. And in my example over here, I have 2 bits of glass, but that was just so you guys could see that there's a piston and some lava down there, so it looks like a cobble farm. But you don't need glass, you can literally just use 4 solid blocks just like this. Then once you have that done, you're going to come right around back, put in a block right there, and then you can take this block out, go ahead and put in another yellow block, and go ahead and take that block out and put in another yellow block just like that. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put a block there and a block there. Once you have the back side of your farm all done up just like this, then go ahead and come to the outside right here. You're going to go ahead and place in it 2 blocks right there and 2 more right there. Do the same thing on this side, 2 blocks right there, 2 blocks right there, leaving the middle open just like this. Then once you have that, go ahead and take some redstone dust, place it in these 3 areas just like so. Grab yourself a repeater and go ahead and put it in over here just like that. You're going to leave these on 1 tick. Turn around in this direction, put 2 more repeaters in there just like that, leading into that concrete block. So that way anytime that these get powered, it's going to go and push it to one side, only powering a single side at a time, so they take turns. Then once you have that done, grab your redstone dust and place it in there and in there. Once you have the back of your farm all wired up, next we need to go ahead and build our engine, and that's going to go down below, and you need to decide which side you want to build it on, because you can build it on this side or on this side, and it depends on which way your circuit's going to go. My circuit's going over in this direction because I need to run my stone mode circuit down to there, and once I know which direction I'm going to go in, I'm going to pick the side. So I'm going to go on this side. So to do this, you're going to come down by 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just like that. Then once you have that, you're going to place a block on the side in the center right here. You're going to go up a block and place another block in there just like so. Once you have that, go ahead and come right around here, place another block right there, and then you can break that block out, you can break that block out, and you can break this block out. Now you've got this little circle with like a Q kind of hanging out there, and you have a 1 block gap from the yellow circuit up above. Once you have that in place, then go ahead and grab yourself a repeater. Go and put it right in there in the center on 2 ticks, just like so, facing this area, because the redstone dust is going to be right under there, and that's going to get powered by it. Then grab yourself a redstone torch and put it under there, and you should see that that creates a clock just like this. Once you have that, you can go ahead and put a lever on the back of that and go ahead and turn that off just by powering that on, just like so. Then once you have that in place, next we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves an observer right here, put a temporary block in there just like that, come around on this side and go ahead and place yourself an observer with the red dot facing in that direction right there. Then go ahead and break out your temporary block. Once you have that in place, then you can go ahead and grab yourself a sticky piston, and then you're going to look at that block and have it go right there, and as you're going to see, it's going to go ahead and push up. So once you've built your engine, next you need to go ahead and get started with your stone circuit. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and place a temporary block in right there. You're going to come right next to your lever just like this. Go ahead and get those 2 blocks out, and now you have an open space next to your lever. So whenever you place redstone dust, you should see that it's in the on position. Next, I'm going to put a redstone torch and make sure it's not messing with any other circuits. So I'm going to place mine over here. Then once you have that, that is going to be the beginning of your stone circuit. So we're going to go ahead and place in a block right there. Now we need to run redstone dust from this point all the way down to this point. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wire this up, and this is going to come all the way down to this piston down here. I show you guys where the stone circuit is in the tutorial for the Universal TNT Blaster. So this is right where you need to run your redstone. So since I have this redstone line already ran all the way up to my cobble farm, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie into it right here so that way it continues to run down there. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right out there. We're going to take a repeater. We're going to put it right into there. Now I need to connect this up to that. How you decide to do this part is completely up to you. This part is going to be different for everyone depending on where they decide to put their farm. So you need to go ahead and make sure that you wire everything up properly. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and make sure that all of your redstone gets put in place just like so. I'm making sure that wherever I land my redstone, it's going to be in line with that circuit over there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this right over there just like so. That should line up with my circuit. And see, I just kind of did that on the fly to make sure everything works. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and count 15 redstone. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then 15, which that is actually kind of rough. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right like that. We're going to go ahead and break this out. We're going to put ourselves in a repeater right there just like that to continue the signal, and then we're going to continue all the way down to this repeater. There really is no right or wrong way to build this circuit as long as it goes all the way down to that piston and the redstone lights up all the way to it. So let's go ahead and test it out. If we come up here, I'm going to turn off my original farm. Let's go ahead and turn that off, and you should see that stone mode is going to turn off now that piston has retracted. So now let's go ahead and test our stone mode here from our new cobble farm over here. Let's go ahead and turn this on. So if we turn that on, we should see that stone mode turns on and that piston has now extended again, and it does look like our farm is producing blocks here just like this. And you're going to notice that when you first turn the farm on, you're going to see that sometimes it doesn't push any cobble. This farm is an updating farm, meaning that it updates the lava, which makes it flow faster, but it does need to warm up, so it takes a little bit for that to happen, and it can be coaxed along if you come right around here and you go ahead and play with this repeater. At the end, it needs to end up back on 2 ticks, but you can go ahead and turn it on to 3, turn it on to 4, and then turn it into 1, and then once you go back to 2, just like that, you should see that it starts to get a little bit more consistent. Now the lava has been fully updated, and every single time we're getting cobble being put into the system. If you find your farm is still not pushing cobblestone every single time, you can just play with that repeater, and that just kind of gets everything to warm up. And then of course, once you've got your farm producing cobblestone just like this, make sure that all of your piston pushers are working, which as you can see, all of mine are. Everything's being fed into the farm just like it should be. Make sure that all of your pistons are pushing blocks like they should be into your TNT blaster, and when you make your way into the farm, you should see that the TNT does get dispensed, and then it gets shot up just like that, and then explodes all your blocks, and all of the blocks do come on down and go right into your search system, which it looks like mine has backed up. And then right now you're going to see that all of the walls are going to cave in just like this, and all of your items should get shoved out like that, anything that's remaining on the ledges. On your stone mode circuit, you should see that you have 3 items in total, and when they're all over here to the left hand side, you're going to notice that this is going to retract, and as you can see right here, it's going to go ahead and shoot out another TNT when it extends, and that's going to go ahead and make sure that your cobblestone doesn't back up your farm. And obviously, before you get started, you're going to want to make sure that you have plenty of TNT in your system, and then also plenty of empty storage so that you can have more blocks coming in. And since this farm is going to fill up rather quickly, regular chests and barrels simply are not really a good idea. I recommend putting in some KrustyKraft storage systems and some item sorters, and if you guys don't know how to build those, well, I've got some of those on my channel, and I'll leave a link to those up in the top right hand corner. corner and down in the description. And because things would fit in really nice right here, I suggest building the one wide tileable shulker box loaders. And then once you've tested your cobble farm and you know your TNT blaster is keeping up and everything's working together just like it is, then you are done. You have completed it, and as you can see, this is super fast and easy to build. It didn't take that long at all. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too. And if you did, be sure to smack the like button for me and subscribe if you guys are new. I'm Broken Bones, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Take it easy, everybody.